Welcome to my journey through the Bible. This will be applications you can apply to your life and a little more in depth about the chapter. We are in Deuteronomy 19, verses 1 through 21. And murder is something that we have to deal with in every city, in every state, and in every nation. Now, the way that the punishment is brought about depends from place to place. And sometimes when we're reading this in the Bible, this might seem kind of like a very harsh punishment at times. But in Bible times, if somebody killed someone and it was an accident and there were not any rules put in place, this type of punishment sometimes was barbaric, and it was not always just. It didn't have all the facts or all the details to what had happened. And for that reason, then they set up these refuge, these cities of safe haven until they could have a fair and just trial. Now, when we lose somebody that we love, even when it's an accident, say there's a car wreck and somebody dies, there is something drops off of a building and lands on a loved one, there's an accident at work and your loved one is killed, there is still pain, there is still sorrow, but it does not necessarily mean that that person needs to die because they accidentally hit another car, or they accidentally dropped something, or they accidentally did something wrong. That's not necessarily worthy of death. But then there are the other cases where somebody hates another person and they plan out their murder, they take action, they follow through, and then in those cases their punishment would be death. And personally, I think if we followed some of these rules today, things would be very different. So you get mad at a person, you go home, you grab a gun, you go and shoot them, you die. Death is your punishment. You're mad at somebody at school, or somebody was bullying you, or a teacher, you didn't like a teacher, they gave you a bad grade, so you go and you shoot up everybody in the school. Well, your punishment is death. You can't control your sexual desires, so you rape and hurt a child, well then you're raped and hurt badly. If you give false witness against somebody, you don't like them, but you make up the story so that they can be thrown in jail or so that they could be killed, then when the truth comes out, the punishment you wanted that person to have, you receive it. And if this was something that was done, somehow I think our crime rate would go down. It wouldn't take long that word would get spread around that, hey, when you kill somebody, you get death. When you do something bad to somebody else, that same punishment is done to you in the same way. And then we live in an evil world, and I think we have to handle things as godly as possible. And then we have to leave all the details up to God. And God had a way of doing things to keep things peaceful. If there's a lot of evil, if somebody goes around just killing somebody all the time, if you kill them, that kind of stops the death rate in your city, in your state, in your nation. And the Israelites were also to maintain the roads that led to these cities of refuge, because a nice, clean, smooth road could mean the difference of the refuge's life or death for them. If the roads were maintained, they would be able to make it to the safe city until they could have a fair trial. If the roads were not maintained, then they may get tripped up and fall, and then that allows somebody else to get them and do whatever punishment they deem right for them. And of course, the only problem with that is if it was an accident, then the victim's family now committed murder because they were so mad and so upset. All they wanted to do was a life for a life, but they did not make sure that they had all the facts before they redeemed or before they went ahead with the punishment. Now, the punishment should fit the crime, and it's just another reason that we should all be very thankful for the blood of Jesus, because our punishment for sin would be death. But because we are covered in the blood of Jesus, then we get to live. We get to have a relationship with God. May God be with you in everything and in every way.